Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being a part of Horizon High School's inaugural Advanced Studies Night. Tonight's presentation is jam-packed with information and details related to 3 of Horizon High School's advanced programs. My name is Wasal Canayo. I'm an assistant principal at Horizon High School, and joining us this evening is Ms. Zoller, our school counselor. We have 4 additional guests joining us, whom I will introduce shortly. After our guests cover their topics, we will discuss overall implications for the college admissions process, as well as for our specific school schedule. Horizon High School staff will be available after the end of the session for any questions. Please note that this presentation is being recorded and will be posted to social media, including YouTube, tomorrow. The name of any person asking a question in our Q&A is public and will be viewable by all. We would like to thank you for joining us this evening, and we are going to start out with a little quick reminder before we get started on the information for tonight. There is something that I wanted to review with our students. As we have been meeting with students these past few weeks, Ms. Zoller and I have been asking them if they have received our emails from myself and from Horizon High School. Many students have shared that they are not regularly accessing their OCPS email, and we have found numerous students with hundreds and even thousands of unread emails in their OCPS email account. One of the issues that we're finding is that most students have the notifications from Canvas being sent to their OCPS email. This means that every time that a new assignment is posted, graded, late, or has a comment left on it for all 7 of their classes, students are getting emails sent to their OCPS email accounts. This is causing an extreme inundation into their inbox, resulting in many students simply not accessing and utilizing their school email. It is my strong recommendation that you open up the Canvas settings for all of your classes and turn the notifications off. You can opt to have notifications sent weekly or only for specific things that you want to be sent to you, but in some way these need to be minimized. I cannot stress enough the importance of checking your OCPS student email account daily. This is the primary communication method for your teachers, counselors, administrators, and anyone else within Orange County Public Schools that needs to reach you. Parents, I encourage you to discuss this with your child, have them take out their laptop this evening and have them do 2 things. The first thing is to adjust the notification setting in Canvas. And then number 2, go into their OCPS email and clear out any old and obsolete emails so that their inbox is reinstated to a place that can be manageable and usable for them. This is critical for effective communication. If you have any questions or need support with this process, please reach out to me and I will help you to get that to a place that is manageable. This is very important. Also, I wanted to share that our website is now live, so if you haven't had a chance to visit us at horizonhs.ocps.net, please do that. You'll notice on the screen that I do have a screenshot of Canvas. If your child were to go into their Canvas account and open up any of their classes, they'll see on the right-hand side that they can view course notifications. If they click on that, you'll see all of the notification settings for all of the different things that they're being sent. And that will tell you what types of things they're getting emails for, and they can just simply click on it to uncheck having those notifications sent to them. So that was a little side note, not really what we're here to discuss, but is something important that we've come across in our meetings. So enough about that. Our reason for being here tonight. And if you are not familiar with the WebEx platform, it is fairly user-friendly. You will notice several icons along the right-hand side of your screen. The Q&A is highlighted with an orange arrow in this diagram. Note your screen may alternatively have these icons located on the bottom right-hand side. During the WebEx, all participants are muted. You will not be able to speak or verbally be heard or seen throughout this event, with the exception of the panelists. You can type out questions by clicking the Q&A icon and typing your question into the box. Once a question is entered into the Q&A, the question and the answer become viewable for all participants, as well as the name of the person asking the question. Guest speakers cannot see the Q&A. Horizon High School staff will be monitoring the Q&A by asking questions that are most relevant to the entire group. If at the end of the presentation you feel that you still have unanswered questions, Horizon High School staff will be available. You are also welcome to reach out to us directly, and we will be more than happy to have a one-on-one conversation with you. Our email addresses will be provided at the end of this presentation. The second icon that may be helpful to you is shown on the black screen in the top right-hand corner. If you hover your mouse, you will see an icon that says Layout. Here you can choose how to set up the camera views of the panelists and the presentation tonight. Rebecca Hunt is the Senior Administrator for the Advanced Studies Department of Orange County Public Schools. Ms. Hunt oversees all advanced programs within our district, including our 22 high schools, and has a wealth of knowledge about each program. At this time, I would like to introduce Ms. Hunt to you.
Thank you, Basal, for the introduction. Thank you all. I'm very happy to be here this evening to support the wide variety of advanced studies programs that will be available at Horizon High School. Really, our mission here at Advanced Studies is to provide opportunities to students and options that support all of them through their post-secondary preparation experiences at our schools. So at Horizon High School, supporting Cambridge AICE and the AP program as well, and to ensure that each student is prepared for individual success in the future. So thank you again for having me.
Thank you, Ms. Hunt. As I said before, we have 3 guest speakers this evening representing AICE Cambridge, CollegeBoard's AP program, and Valencia Dual Enrollment. Please note that the presentation of programs is strictly in alphabetical order and is not based on any preference or bias. Each speaker will give a 10 to 15-minute overview of their program, followed by a 5-minute Q&A before moving on to the next speaker. Please note that Horizon High School will moderate the Q&A, as I said before, and we will ask the most relevant questions for the good of all of our guests. Out of respect for time, we will adhere to a 5-minute maximum for the Q&A for each speaker. However, as I said before, Horizon High School staff will be available at the conclusion of all speakers for additional questions. After our guest speakers, we will discuss University of Florida, UCF, and OTC dual enrollment opportunities, as well as the college application and credit implications for each program, as well as some scheduling changes in the Horizon High School course progression. It will be very important that you stick around to the end if you are able to, because some of our updates are very important. Additionally, please note that this presentation is being recorded and will be posted to our YouTube channel tomorrow. Without further ado, I would like to introduce Allison Ibarra, who is going to speak about the AICE program.
Great, thank you, Asal. Good evening, everybody. It is my pleasure to be here and share important information with you about the Cambridge AICE program and the diploma. My name is Allison Ibarra, and I am a school development manager for Cambridge International. So let's get started. Next. So Cambridge International is part of the University of Cambridge, which just celebrated its 800th anniversary last year. Cambridge International is also part of Cambridge Assessment, which was founded over 150 years ago. And really, research is at the heart of everything we do. The reliability of our assessment comes from our evidence-based and research-led approach in all developments. And so, of course, we have our own assessment research division, which is the largest research capability of its kind. And because we belong to the University of Cambridge, we are a charitable foundation, and we do invest any return from our activities into education and research. And so that's really one of the main reasons why Cambridge Assessment International Education is the world's largest provider of international education for 5 to 19-year-olds working with over 10,000 schools in over 170 countries. Next. So we do offer a complete pathway program for students from kindergarten to high school. And once students enter high school, schools can offer really any combination of courses from the 125 plus courses available at the IGCSE pre-ACE level and the advanced ASA level. And so if students choose courses and exams that they pass at the AS and A level can be used towards the Cambridge ACE diploma, which we'll discuss in a further slide. Next. So the Cambridge learner attributes really underpin our entire program pathway. Cambridge International really is interested in developing the whole child, both academic and social emotional. And so the goal really is to provide opportunities within the coursework for students to become confident learners who are responsible for themselves and their school community, who can reflect on their own progress towards their own goals, who are innovative in their approach to problem solving, and are really engaged in their academic and social development. And so we here at Cambridge really believe that these are the necessary learning habits that students need to be successful in school and in life. Next. All right, so now let's discuss the ACE diploma and its benefits to students and families. Next. So the Cambridge ACE program courses and diploma path really develops students' ability to successfully work on investigative projects individually and in teams in meaningful collaborative ways to find possible solutions. So this kind of provides Cambridge the opportunity to assess students, their different capabilities, students' abilities to research effectively, communicate knowledge and ideas effectively through writing, speaking, listening components, and as well the ability to run a science lab sight unseen independently, which is a very necessary skill for student success in science courses in college and university. Cambridge minimally engages in multiple choice assessments, so students can earn partial credit for their written answers, whereas multiple choice answers are either right or wrong, right, and do not assess a student's thought process. So because students must be able to apply knowledge in meaningful ways on their written assessments, it really allows Cambridge to assess the depth and knowledge and understanding that students have about a given subject. Next. So the ACE diploma is a qualification for students studying at the AS and A level. To earn the diploma, there are certain requirements, but there is also flexibility within those requirements, giving students the opportunity to really take charge of their learning and tailor their diploma path based on their individual interests, strengths, and what their future plans are. So to earn the diploma, students must fulfill the following group requirements. So they must pass one course and exam in the Group 1 Math and Science, Group 2 Languages, Group 3 Humanities, and the Global Perspectives course and exam. So this gives the students 4 points towards the 7 needed to earn the diploma. And then the other 3 points from courses and exams passed can come from any of the groups. So students who are interested in math and sciences can focus on those courses, or students who enjoy humanities courses or learning languages can focus on those courses to earn the remaining 3 points necessary for the ACE diploma. Next. The ACE diploma is very well recognized by many universities and the most elite colleges and universities in the US, such as Harvard, MIT, and the University of Florida. Next. So really the end goal of the program is the ACE diploma because of its direct link to the Florida Bright Futures Scholarship. Next. In order to earn the Florida Academic Scholars Award, which is the highest level of the Bright Future Scholarship, a student needs to earn a 1330 on the SAT, a minimum of a 3.5 GPA, and 100 community service hours. An AICE diploma recipient will receive this award level without the SAT and GPA requirement. Next. So really the benefit of earning the AICE diploma and the Bright Future Scholarship at the academic scholars level is that 100% of tuition that's covered, the fees at a Florida public state university, and that $300 textbook allowance that can be used in the fall and spring semesters. Next. Okay, so also, passing Cambridge exams means that students can be awarded up to 45 hours of college credit at all public Florida universities and colleges. Additionally, it is feasible that a student could earn both an AA and the full Bright Future Scholarship by combining AICE with dual enrollment. And you know, students can earn the AICE diploma in 3 years versus 2 years, which is required by other international programs. And so this really allows students to take fewer courses each year and focus more time and effort on those courses to ensure success. So really, students have a lot more flexibility with their time so that they can also participate in clubs and sports, which is very important to students in high school as well. Next. Okay, and so that is the end of the presentation, and so we can kind of take some questions if there are any.
Thank you, Ms. Ibarra. We are monitoring the Q&A. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to enter them. We did have a question that is actually geared towards Horizon High School. It says, where the coursework is recognized, it appears to be primarily for A-level courses. Are those 2-year courses? Allison, would you mind elaborating on the difference between A and AS level courses?
Sure. So AS level generally is considered like a first-year college level course. And then A level would be the continuation of that into kind of a second year college level course. So many students will take the AS level and earn their points that way towards the diploma, but they can also continue into their in-depth study of a particular subject by going all the way to the A level. And those A levels are very widely recognized across the United States.
Thank you. And that kind of led into another question, is if you could elaborate on the benefit of AICE when going to out-of-state colleges, as well as specifically Ivy League.
So for out of state, obviously it's going to be the recognition more so than college credit. Florida has the most liberal legislative policies in place to award college credit for students who participate in the AICE Cambridge program. We do have on our website, which is www.cambridgeinternational.com, an area where you can search for a school outside of Florida and look at their specific policies in terms of, you know, what grades they will accept and how much college credits they will accept. And it really kind of differs in universities and colleges outside of Florida. So we are recognized in over 700 universities and colleges, but in different ways. So it's really important for you to specifically get from the college or university of your interest what specifically they will accept.
Thank you. And can you discuss pre-AICE courses and whether or not they count towards AICE, the AICE diploma? And if not, then what are the advantages of taking pre-AICE courses?
So the pre-AICE courses do not count towards the diploma, but they, for many subjects, are a necessary step into preparing students for AS and A-level courses. So they are highly recommended because it is quite a leap for students to leave middle school who might be engaging in an honors curriculum to jump from that to a college level course. It's really nice to have that pre-ACE course that's going to further develop student skills so that they are best prepared to be successful in an AS level course.
All right, thank you.
You're
And we
welcome.
do have a couple more questions here.
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's all right. We understand. A lot of us are doing things from home these days, so that's all right. A question was asked, how hard is the Cambridge program?
So Cambridge is definitely challenging, right? Because they are considered college level courses. There is quite a bit of writing involved and reading. Students will engage in coursework that is part of the exam, as well as face-to-face exams. And so that coursework they'll work on throughout the entire year. But I would definitely say that because students are acquiring knowledge, but applying that knowledge in real meaningful ways, we see students really kind of carry knowledge in courses across the curriculum. And so they may acquire skills in research and analysis and evaluation from courses that they can use across all of their Cambridge courses. And so in that way, I feel like, the extra rigor and the extra effort on a student's part is definitely beneficial.
Okay, thank you. And then our last question for you, Allison, is my child is planning to attend school out of state. And I know you've already touched on this, but we're kind of approaching the question another way. My child is planning to attend school out of state. Is there any reason that they should participate in ACE courses if we're going to assume that they won't be accepted for credit?
Well, I mean, you're assuming that they might not be accepted, but I would definitely check because Ivy Leagues, they don't accept really any credit from these courses because they want you to take the courses obviously at their schools. But in the application process, a student who has been on an honors track versus a Cambridge ACE track definitely is going to be looked at as a student who has gone through a rigorous diploma program, who's taken several advanced courses at the college level during high school, and is going to be viewed very differently than maybe a more traditional approach in their high school diploma track. But definitely, look at the schools that you're interested in because, Florida will accept grades A to E. And that E is the lowest passing score, 4 credits here in the state of Florida. And you just have to look outside. It depends on the university. Some may be A to C, some may just be A's and B's, but it's really important that you do that research as you're looking forward to schools to apply to in the future.
Thank you very much. Your presentation was very insightful. We very much appreciate you being here this evening. And to our parents and students that have asked numerous more questions, we will answer many of the things that you are asking later on in this presentation ourselves when we talk about some of the implications for college application as well as matriculation and credit. So thank you again, Allison, for being here with us this evening.
You're very welcome.
All right, and so next up, we are going to hand it over to Miss Sasha Williams, who is joining us from AP, and she's going to share some information about, from joining us from CollegeBoard, and she's going to be sharing some information about AP.
Thank you so much, Ms. Canal, and it is an absolute pleasure to be here with everyone tonight from a number of different angles. I am a proud graduate of Orange County Public Schools myself, and I also have a 10th grader who is attending an Orange County Public School. So let's just say, needless to say, I understand where everyone's kind of coming from this evening. So please feel free to ask your questions, and for the purposes of time, the ones that I cannot get to, please send them into the chat and I will make sure that they get answered. So without further ado, Ms. Canal, if you could just go to our next slide. So you may be asking why I'm starting off an AP presentation with information regarding the SAT student assessment, and I'll tell you why. So Orange County Public Schools is one of many districts in Florida who actually offer this full suite of assessments as it relates to the SAT. And the reason why it's pertinent to AP is because students can actually gain insight or knowledge about how they would perform in any particular AP class by way of taking one of these assessments. So again, Orange County Public Schools is one of those, are one of many districts in Florida who offer this full suite starting in 9th grade and going all the way through 12th grade. And once a student actually sits for either the PSAT 8-9, the PSAT NMSQT, or the SAT, their scores will then drive what we call AP potential. Our AP potential is, again, just a correlation of how a student would do on the AP exams by way of how they performed on any of these suite of assessments. Students can check this in their score reports. Next slide. Once a student actually receives their score reports from any of the 3 assessments that we just spoke about, they can determine, again, by looking at this report, which one of these AP courses that they would see the most success in. And when I refer to success, I'm talking about at least a 60% chance of scoring a 3 or higher, which out of 5, which we know are the qualifying scores for AP exams. Next. So in total, there are 38 AP courses that are offered. Over 22,000 schools participate in AP. Students learn rigorous college-level content and skills. Students who participate in AP are more likely to graduate college in 4 years, and students with qualifying AP scores can earn credit and skip intro-level courses at many colleges, saving them time, money as they work towards a degree. And I know we had a great length of conversation around what scores or what schools accept certain scores for specific classes. And this information can actually be found if you're looking at doing a little bit more research on this. We'll talk about this at the end of the presentation as well. But by way of our website, if you were to go to exploreap.org, there is a section of that website that gives you an idea or gives you a good idea of each of a number of different schools and their AP policies as it relates to providing credit. Next slide. So I'll do you the favor and not read through all of the different AP courses that that are listed here. But again, here are all 38 courses that are listed, that are offered. I'm sorry. Next slide. So just a kind of quick synopsis or just an account of how AP is offered in Orange County Public Schools. So in the year of 2019 or 2019 exam year, all 38 AP courses were offered at obviously a number of different Orange County Public Schools, high schools. Over 23,000 students were enrolled in AP courses across the district, and over 42,000 AP exams were given or taken. Next slide. So new as of just last school year, are our AP support services, which we affectionately call AP Classroom. And these are a set of resources for teachers and students to be able to kind of gauge a student's progress towards earning a qualifying score throughout the school year. So this is an opportunity for teachers and students to communicate. And, you know, side note, when we were building this out, we had no idea that we would be moving into more of a virtual learning environment. So I know that this particular tool has been very resourceful and beneficial for a number of students throughout the district or throughout the nation as they have been preparing for AP exams virtually or from learning at home. Next slide. So I know I'm kind of going through these slides fairly quickly, but I want to give you all an opportunity to ask some questions for the sake of time. So I'm going to jump right into AP Capstone, which is our diploma program. Thank you. So as you can see here, our AP Capstone program is built off of 2 courses, AP Seminar, taken in year 1 of the program, and AP Research, taken in year 2. As you can see, both courses have an intense focus on critical thinking skills as well as communication skills that complement the in-depth subject matter studied in discipline-specific AP courses and are skills that are highly sought after in post-secondary studies. Next slide. So in the AP Capstone program, students have the option to pursue 1 or 2 awards. The first one, the AP Capstone Diploma, is earned by taking both AP Seminar and Research and earning a qualifying score of a 3 or higher, as well as 4 additional AP courses and earning a qualifying score of 3 or higher in those courses as well. The second award, the AP Seminar and Research Certificate, is awarded when students earn a qualifying score of a 3 or higher in both seminar or research. And just noticing that the component or the additional requirement of the 4 AP exams is not needed for the seminar and research certificate. Next slide. All right, that went a lot faster than I thought. So just like I mentioned before, we have a wealth of knowledge around our AP credits and policies as it relates to different universities across the state as well as across the nation. If there are any specific things that you're looking to get a little bit more information on, I encourage everyone to visit our AP Students website, and that is apstudents.collegeboard.org. And thank you for adding that Twitter page there, Ms. Canal. That is also a great way to keeping up with new policies as well as new information regarding exams. And I think that takes us right into our Q&A.
Thank you so much. That was
very
excellent.
welcome.
Very thorough. We appreciate that. And I especially appreciate the first slide where you spoke about the connection between the PSAT, SAT, and then AP readiness. I think that's very important for us to think about. So we do have a couple of questions here. The first one is, how do we access AP Classroom?
Great question. So I believe the website is myap.org, but honestly, it's a great conversation starter for your students and the AP teacher that they're currently enrolled with. And reason being is because a lot of the resources that are set in AP Classroom are directly tied to the actual instructor. So although there are resources there that students can access and navigate on their own, those particular tools are intended for teachers to assign them as the student is ready for that particular feature or that particular assignment.
Okay, thank you. Another question that came in is what is the recommended, or is there a recommended amount of AP courses for a student to take?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's something that I get often, right? And you may not like this answer, but it just depends. So honestly, it depends on the student's workload. It depends on the student's, out of school life. It just depends on the time management piece as well. I know recently our leader of AP courses publicly made a Twitter suggesting that students not exceed, I believe, what was it, and keep me honest, Ms. Hunt, because I think you saw this tweet as well. No more than 3 courses, I believe, is what I heard. But that's not to say that a student couldn't take any more. And, our take on it at the College Board is that we don't want a student to become overwhelmed and taking coursework just for the sake of taking coursework. We want it to be meaningful, hence the AP resources in the classroom, my AP classroom, and so forth. But I know that didn't really answer your question directly, but it really just depends.
Okay, thank you. And can you elaborate on how are the AP diplomas and certificates used, or what is the advantage of accomplishing that?
Definitely so. So similar to what we talked about, my friend with the AICE program, is that, it depends on the schools where students are attending, how they recognize them. Obviously, we know that students who meet the qualifying scores for AP exams can receive college credit for getting those qualifying scores, but it just depends on where the student is looking to attend on how they will, what that AP capstone diploma will actually mean for that school. So a great place to visit, just to kind of help you do the research, is that exploreap.org website, where you can kind of take a look into each of those schools' policies on how they would use a diploma for placement or for any specific advantages.
Okay, thank you. And this will be our last question for you. When are students able to start taking AP classes?
That's a great question. And we typically see that happening as soon as 9th grade. So an introductory course that we normally see, and especially in the state of Florida, is AP Human Geo. But again, that's a great conversation starter to have with your student's counselor, your school counselors, just to kind of see what would be the best fit. The other piece of that too is using that AP potential tool to kind of help determine what would be the best fit based on how your student performed on the PSAT 8-9, the PSAT NMST, or even the SAT, just kind of determine where they should start with their AP journey.
Okay, thank you. We very much appreciate you being here this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And again, we do have lots more questions in the Q&A that we didn't get to. And a lot of questions about how does AICE compare to AP and honors, and how is AP weighted comparable to honors or AICE. And we will talk about some of that more in depth later on in our presentation. Thank you again, Ms. Williams. And we are going to move directly into Ms. Constantino with Valencia.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me here tonight. I am a college transition counselor with Orange County Public Schools, and hopefully I'll give you some good information about Valencia College's dual enrollment program. So for those of you who aren't familiar with dual enrollment, it's an accelerated program. Students are earning high school credit and college credit at the same time. Primarily, the first thing that everyone checks is the classes should be meeting their high school graduation requirements. So that's the first thing that we look at. Also, tuition for the college classes is paid for by Orange County Public Schools, so it's free to the student. And also required textbooks are free as well. So the criteria in Orange County, you have to be in grades 6 through 11. Valencia is also looking at your high school grade point average. For grades 6 through 11, it has to be a 3.0 unweighted cumulative. And for grade 12, they will take a weighted 3.0. They're also looking at college-ready test scores, and we'll talk about those in a few minutes. And then they're asking for approval signatures. So the student is signing the application, the parent is giving their permission for the student to participate, and in this case, your Windermere High School counselor is also confirming that you do have the required GPA. Next slide, please. The application is open right now. It closes very soon, though. It closes Monday at 5 o'clock. So this application cycle is for students to participate in the fall term of 2021. If you miss this deadline, there is going to be another application opening in September, and that would be for students to participate in the spring 2022 term. When you do go to the application, it is online on Valencia's dual enrollment website. There's no charge for the application. It is all online. Valencia has suggested that you do it all in one sitting. It's easier that way. There's two parts to the application. It can be a little tricky if you leave and then try to come back. I would suggest just block out some time, do it all at once. And again, there are step-by-step instructions. There's a link here in the slides that will take you to the Valencia website, and there is a section. It'll walk you through the application page by page. Next slide. So we mentioned that you have to have college-ready test scores, and that can be any combination of a PERT, SAT, ACT. Here are the required scores. And if your PERT is taken, if you have taken a PERT at your school, your high school brick and mortar, the district sends those scores to Valencia, so you don't have to do anything. But if you've taken an SAT or ACT, you have to request that they be sent electronically to Valencia. So if you log into your account at CollegeBoard or ACT.org, you can request that those be sent to Valencia. That's the only way they'll take them. They don't take them from us, from Orange County. They won't take a copy of your score report. It has to be electronic. And we always tell everybody it takes weeks we've been told, even if you request the quick turnaround time from CollegeBoard, it has to be sent to Valencia, and then Valencia has to process it, put it into your account. So please, if you do have scores that you want to get sent to Valencia, do it now. That test score deadline is April 5th, and believe me, Valencia's deadlines are firm. So please keep that in mind. Okay, next. So we've had some questions about students who are filling out their application. For those of you who are in the process or who are thinking about it, and again, it's getting down to the wire. Monday is the deadline. But just if you are thinking about the application, there's really not much that we can change. If you've made a mistake, you want to maybe go back and change a few things, there's just no way to do it yourself. Orange County, your counselors, we can't make those changes, but you can contact the Valencia Dual Enrollment office at that email address, and you can give them, they'll need your date of birth and the email address that you used in the application. And when you do communicate with Valencia, they have filters and they're not able to email to an Orange County Public School student email address. So always use your personal email when you communicate with Valencia. As I said, that there's a two-part process to this online application. The first part pretty much is the demographics and your background, and then it takes you to a section where you're setting up what's called a dynamic forms account. That's where your parents, your guidance counselor are going to be signing their approval. Sometimes it's easy to overlook. There is a section where you have to click on a link. It is part of the application, but if you miss it or for some reason you aren't able to get to that dynamics forms account, again, there's really nothing we can do or you can do. You would have to contact the dual enrollment office, and they've been really quick to respond. I've had a number of students ask questions about the application, and they're great. They'll get back to you, they'll reset it, tell you how to fix it, and then you can go on from there. Next. So as far as the dual enrollment program, you can take 4 classes maximum in the fall, 4 classes in the spring, and 2 in the summer. That's not to say that you can start in the summer if you're a brand new dual enrollment student. Again, this application cycle is for students to start in the fall, but once you're enrolled in the program, you could do fall, spring, and summer. And summer classes, you would just be doing 2. So to stay in the program, you have to keep your grades up, of course. Valencia is asking for a 2.0 GPA in their system, and then you have to maintain that 3.0 unweighted high school GPA. If you have 2 terms in a row of less than those grades and your GPA drops, then you'll be dismissed from the program. And one thing that's really critical is sometimes students will maybe underestimate the amount of work. Again, these are college level classes, so it does take some time, and definitely you might have a very busy schedule at your high school. So maybe you've signed up for too many classes in dual enrollment, you realize it's just overwhelming and you want to withdraw from a class. So you have 1 withdrawal for the entire time you're in the program. So use it as a last resort. They do have what's called an add drop period at the beginning of a term. It's a 1 week where you can kind of test drive the class, see if you like it. If you do drop it within that time frame, it disappears. If you miss that 1 week deadline, then you would be withdrawing it, and that withdrawal will show up on your college transcript. Next. So some of the things to think about if you are interested in dual enrollment, and definitely talk with your parents, your family, your guidance counselor. What are you thinking about doing after high school? Not all schools take dual enrollment credits. In-state, in Florida, public universities take dual enrollment credits. But if you're thinking about going out of state or going to a private school, even in-state, they don't have to accept those credits. They're not the same as AP. AP is standardized across the country, but not so much with dual enrollment. So we tell everyone, contact the school where you think you're going to attend after high school. If you're thinking of going to an out-of-state school, contact them and explain that you're, thinking about dual enrollment at Valencia College. What's their policy? Again, it might be something that if it doesn't work out, you might want to consider another way to get college credit, like an AP class. And again, those dual enrollment grades stay on your permanent college transcript. Good, bad, or otherwise, that they don't go away. You want to make sure that you keep those grades up, because that college transcript that you're starting while you're still in high school could affect getting into maybe a competitive school after high school. So you want to make sure those grades look good. And for some of the younger students, you're in classes with regular college students and even adults going back to get a different degree. So again, you have to make sure that you're able to keep up, you're socially mature. Right now, Valencia is virtual, so it might not be, as critical, but once they go back to on campus, again, you'll be in classes with all the other college students. They don't change the coursework for dual enrollment class. It's just exactly the same as a college class for everyone. For those of you who might be under 16, again, right now, online classes, it's not as critical, but when you do go back to campus, you have to have a parent accompany you. Not in the classroom with you, but they have to accompany you while you're on the campus. Next, please. Okay, that was quick.
Thank you, Ms. Constantino. That was very informative and helpful for us, and definitely helped to round out our understanding of some of our advanced programs with the 3 options that we're discussing tonight. We do have a couple of questions that have come in. If you could explain to us what the PERT is, can I take it online, and how do I sign up?
Okay, so how do you take a dual enrollment class online? And
No, I'm sorry, the PERT. What is the PERT?
PERT, I'm sorry, okay. So the PERT is one of the placement tests that Valencia will accept. And the process right now, again, it's going to be virtual. Orange County won't be having any more face-to-face testing opportunities. So a student would complete their dual enrollment application. Once everyone has signed approval, it gets submitted to Valencia. They will send an email to the student with a Valencia ID number in it. Now, once they get that, it's called a VID number. It doesn't mean that they were accepted. It just means that they have an account now with Valencia and they're able to track test scores and the application process. Once they have that email with their VID number, they'll get a second email from Valencia's assessment department. That email will have a set of instructions on how to sign up and how to take the PERT virtually. I've seen the email. It is long and very involved. So I would say, please read it carefully. It does go into a lot of detail. Again, it's new, the new process. They started last semester with the whole virtual testing. So again, just take a look, read it carefully. And I've also been told that it might wind up in your spam or junk mail folder. So please check that. If you've applied and you're waiting for this assessment email, look around and it might be sitting there.
Okay, thank you. And would it be better to apply to dual enrollment as a junior or as a senior? Is there a benefit to either?
It depends on what your schedule looks at your high school. We always tell students, try not to overload it. If you take 4 classes at Valencia as dual enrollment, that's considered full-time. So that means you would not even be going to your high school. So for many students, they want to stay at their high school a little bit, maybe do part-time, a couple of classes at high school, a couple of classes at Valencia. It keeps them connected to their high school. Maybe they have, electives they want to participate, band after school, something that they want to keep going. You can start whenever you feel comfortable with it. You are earning college credit, so that's a bonus. but you don't have to take a full load of 4 classes. You can try it and see if you like it. You can start with 1 dual enrollment class as a junior, or even they start in the 6th grade. So whenever you feel comfortable with it. But again, strongly work with your guidance counselor and make sure that your schedule works.
Thank you. And do you know if classes will start face-to-face at Valencia?
They will. We've heard tentatively that they're talking about starting a few more in the fall on campus. Right now, I'd say 99% are online. I have a few, maybe with labs that they have to be face-to-face, but very few. So we're hoping they have more face-to-face in the fall. They've always had online. You could do either or both versions, but we have been told they're leaning towards more face-to-face in the fall.
Okay, thank you. And our last question for you this evening, do credits earned through Valencia transfer to UCF?
Yes, yes. In fact, they have a direct connect program. If you stay at Valencia after high school and you get an AA degree, you're guaranteed admission to UCF. Not necessarily to all colleges. Some of them are more selective and have more requirements, but they have a direct connect advisor at Valencia and they can work with you to make a smooth transition.
Thank you very much. We very much appreciate your time with us this evening.
Oh, you're welcome. Hope it gave you some good information.
You did. Thank you. All right. And one of the questions that I saw come through our Q&A was about Horizon High School's dual enrollment offerings with other schools. And so we will have, in addition to dual enrollment with Valencia, we will have dual enrollment with University of Central Florida, as well as University of Florida and Orange Technical College. These agreements or dual enrollment programs are actually present across all high schools within OCPS. They're not particular to one school or another. If your student is attending an OCPS high school, they can dual enroll with any of these institutions. So that's an advantage that we have for students who may move from one school to another. And if you, let's say, attend Windermere and you're accepted into a dual enrollment program and then you move to Horizon or to West Orange or to another school, then your acceptance goes with you. You do not have to reapply for the program. So for a little bit of more information about UCF and UF, students that are interested in UCF or UF dual enrollment prior to high school graduation must meet or exceed the following academic qualifications. UCF students must be in grades 6 through 12, have a minimum GPA of 3.8 based on UCF's recalculated GPA, which only includes core classes, and you must have a qualifying SAT or ACT score. UF allows only juniors and seniors to participate in dual enrollment and requires an overall unweighted GPA of 3.6, and they do accept PSAT, SAT, or ACT scores. Both schools have an application deadline of May 1st, 2021 for the fall semester. Additionally, please note that both UCF and UF allow only 2 courses to be taken at a time through their dual enrollment program. And also note that UF courses are only taken online. Of course, we live very far from Gainesville, while UCF courses may be taken both online or in person. If you are applying for dual enrollment with either UCF or UF, you will list your Windermere High School guidance counselor as your counselor and Windermere High School as your school. If accepted, your dual enrollment status, as I said, will transfer with you. Please visit the websites listed here for more information and to complete an application if you are interested. Students interested in Orange Technical College, otherwise known as OTC, must meet specific requirements outlined above in order to apply for the available dual enrollment programs. OTC allows students in OCPS to earn career-ready skills and certifications. An example of some of the more popular CTE programs are welding, cosmetology, pharmacy technician, and diesel mechanic, to name a few. Note that OTC courses are weighted on a 6-point weighted GPA scale, the same as AP AICE and other dual enrollment courses. Students must be in 11th or 12th grade to participate, but sophomores can apply for the upcoming school year. Rising juniors or seniors interested in applying for OTC for the upcoming school year should email Windermere's career specialist, Brandy Heidelberg, for more information on the application process. If a student is accepted into an OTC program, they would take their 4 classes at Horizon High School or through another dual enrollment program, and then travel by OCPS bus to their OTC school, where they will take their 3 electives and be bused back to Horizon High School before the end of the school day. OCPS is offering a virtual Orange Technical College Parent Night this Thursday at 6 p.m. You can sign up by going to parentacademy.ocps.net. And I did want to share with you that, sometimes parents or students think that Orange Technical School is strictly for technical education and for students that might not be interested in attending a 4-year university. But I want to tell you about a student that I met with this past week at Windermere High School who will be coming to us as a junior next year. This student has applied to Orange Technical College to the pharmacy tech program. He is interested in becoming a doctor and wants to work as a pharmacy tech and in a lab during his time in college, which is a great opportunity for him to get experience that will be relevant for him. That particular student will be attending OTC, will be taking UF dual enrollment classes, Valencia Dual Enrollment, as well as AP classes. So that is an example of a student that's taking advantage of multiple different programs. And really the heart of what we want to share with you this evening is that you don't have to pick one program or the other. And that's not what any of these programs are really about. They are about providing options for our students to choose from all of the opportunities that are available, and not to say that one has an advantage over another, because they really don't. You can accomplish your goals in multiple different ways. And so that leads us to our next question, which is, how do I choose? Because my future is important to me and I want to make the right choices. And that's really why you are all here this evening, is because you want to make an informed and a positive decision for yourself. And so when it comes to choosing between AP, AICE, or dual enrollment, there is not a hard and fast right or wrong, and I cannot stress that enough. The answer depends on so many things. Some things that you might want to consider: what do you want to study? What school do you want to go to? Will you go directly into a 4-year university, or will you attend a state college? Are you planning to attend school within the state of Florida or to go out of Florida? Are you trying to go to an Ivy League or a top 20 school? What programs does Horizon High School offer? What are the transfer protocol of the schools you're trying to get into? What are the admission statistics? That's a critical one. I strongly encourage you. On their websites, most schools release their admission statistics for the most recent class that they've admitted. So you'll be able to find, for example, on UF's website, their incoming freshmen that they admitted for the 2020 school year. What's the average weighted and unweighted GPA that each student had that they admitted? Or what's the average SAT or ACT score that a student that was admitted had? And so you can find lots of very important statistics that are insightful for you to know as you're planning and preparing to go to college. And as a reminder, colleges and universities are looking for students who are challenging themselves, that are taking academic and rigorous classes through their senior year. I'm going to slow down on that point. This is extremely important. Many students think that their senior year is a time to lighten the load and take it easy. And this is really a struggle for us to communicate and educate our seniors on, that if you are planning to go to a university, it is not the time to take it easy in your senior year. And that couldn't be furthest from the truth in terms of college admissions. Admissions rep after admissions rep that I have personally spoken with has shared that the senior year schedule is a huge part of the consideration in the admissions process. They are looking to see that students are going above and beyond the minimum requirements and staying academically engaged and challenged with the curriculum available to them. As one representative put it to me, If a student is not interested in learning during their senior year, what makes me think they will be interested in learning as a freshman in college? So here we have a chart on your screen that shows a comparison of general guidelines for some commonly known schools to us here in Florida, as well as a couple among the Ivy League. This is an internal document. It's something that we created at Horizon High School to help our students gain a better understanding of how some of our schools view and award credit for AICE and AP courses and exams. When it comes to AICE, AS level, which are one-year courses, this is the level offered at Windermere as well as Horizon High School. They usually result in 3 to 4 credits being issued per exam. This essentially amounts to one college class being given credit for. Generally, AP tests have award given based on the score received per the individual test. As you can see, according to this chart, there is not a true advantage to one over the other when it comes to awarding of credit. However, it is true that a 5 on an AP exam will often result in more credits being issued. A passing score on an AS level exam will generally result in the same amount of credit being awarded as would be for earning a 3 or sometimes a 4 and sometimes a 5 on an AP exam. To think of it another way, a passing score on an AS level exam is considered by most colleges to be equivalent to a 3 or 4 on an AP exam, while a passing score on an A level exam is comparable to a 5 on an AP exam. Once again, at Horizon High School, this upcoming school year, we will be offering AS level courses. The most important thing that we cannot stress enough is that when trying to determine credit, it is important to do your research. So let's take a look at an example of how you would do that research. If you are planning to go to UF and you want to know if credit will be given for AICE or AP biology, you're going to access the website that we provided here, or you're going to search for it in a search engine. All you're going to do is search UF, AICE, or AP exam credit, or whichever school you're interested in. And you're going to find a link usually to their admissions page that's going to provide you with this information. So I'm going to walk you through how to do that by clicking on UF's website. That will open up their page. I'm going to scroll down and see the different types of exams that they offer credit for. And I'm going to click on AICE exam credit here and scroll down. And we're going to look at biology as an example. So let's say that I'm taking AICE biology and I want to know, can I get credit at UF? Then I would come down to this chart and I would see that passing an AS level exam is going to result in 4 credits for biology. An A level exam, again, at Horizon, we are offering the AS level courses next year. We may revisit that at a later time if A level courses if there becomes a demand for them, but at this time we're offering the AS level. If I were to pass an A level exam, I would get credit for 2 biology classes, or resulting in 8 credits. Now, you'll notice the course number and then a course number with the L. That's indicating that I'll get credit for the biology class. That's 3 credits plus 1 credit for the lab. And so passing the A-level test gives me credit for 2 classes. So if I scroll back up and I click on AP, then I'll be taken to the AP chart. Again, I want to see what kind of credit I would get for my AP test that I passed. If I were to get a 3 or a 4, I would get 1 coursework of credit. So 4 credits for a 3 or 4 on that AP biology test, or I would get 8 credits for a 5 on the AP biology test. All right, so I know that this is a lot of information, so I just want to take a moment to process it and breathe. Remember that there are hundreds of colleges and universities in the United States alone. And so any school counselor or college and career specialist is not going to be an expert and knowing the exact details of every exam and how credit is given at every school for all of the colleges across our nation. So our role is to be your guide and to work together as a team effort to approach your college goal. And so the best approach is for students and parents to start discussing your goals with each other and with your counselor and begin the research into the schools you are considering. The good news is that there are many avenues and directions you can go. Again, I cannot stress enough that there is not an exact formula here. As a general rule, if you are challenging yourself and working hard to ensure success in your classes, you will succeed. In all conversations that we have had with college admissions representatives and the research we have conducted, they have stated over and over again that for admissions purposes, AICE and AP are both viewed as rigorous programs and that one does not present an advantage over the other as they are both seen as academically challenging curriculum. When it comes to the issuing of college credit, as we just demonstrated and discussed, the research really needs to be done ahead of time to investigate the guidelines that the specific school you are interested in attending has towards AICE, AP, and dual enrollment. In our Q&A earlier, someone asked if AICE and AP classes are above honors, and I do want to elaborate on that a bit here. AICE and AP classes are both, as well as dual enrollment, considered. You can think of them as a third tier. So I think of regular students as courses as a baseline, and then we have our honors level courses that are the next level above that, and then our AICE, AP, and dual enrollment are each, in my view, considered to be in the top or the third tier of rigorous classes. And so at Horizon High School, we offer a variety of AICE and AP programs. In our inaugural year, we are expected to have between 12 to 1,600 students. This number of students will impact our scheduling of classes, and I'll explain more detail of that shortly. The AICE courses offered at Horizon High School in the 2021 school year are the following: AICE General Paper, Global Perspectives, Thinking Skills, Biology, Chemistry, Marine Science, and Environmental Management, English Language, Spanish Language and Literature, European History, U.S. History, and Global Perspectives. The AP courses that we will be offering are as follows: AP Physics 1, 2, and C, Calculus A, B, and BC, Statistics, Music Theory, 2D and 3D Art, and in the 22-23 school year, we are looking forward to adding Art History, American Government, and Economics. If you are a Cambridge Diploma seeking student, this slide is extremely important for you. Take a picture or screenshot of this information, but also know that it is also posted in our scheduling curriculum guide available on our website. In order to earn the Cambridge Diploma, and Ms. Ibarra spoke about this earlier, you must take at least 7 of these classes and pass the respective exams. One class must come from each category, and if it is used in one category, it cannot be counted towards another. For example, you'll notice that AICE Psychology can count towards both groups 1 as well as 3. If you take AICE Psychology and apply it to group 1, you cannot also apply it to group 3. Here we have laid out a suggested Cambridge path for our students beginning in their 9th grade year. This can also be adjusted for students entering 10th grade next school year who are just beginning their AICE courses. We did have a question asked about that in our Q&A as well. You can enter AICE in your 10th grade year. If you are entering into 11th grade and you are interested in AICE, it is possible. The demand will be higher on you. However, it is not impossible to do. And I encourage you to reach out to Ms. Zoller or myself so that we can discuss your individual situation. This suggested pathway incorporates more choice for students, allowing them to take combinations of AP and AICE courses that suit their interests and goals. Additionally, This pathway will allow students who are taking other multi-year electives such as band or a progressive art track or a business track or project lead the way, among as a few examples, the opportunity to maintain those elective tracks. The other objective behind this progression is to allow students the opportunity to take 2 AICE classes in their freshman year, which will spread out the curriculum more evenly across the 3 years they have to earn their AICE credits, rather than taking only one in their freshman year of high school. The freshman year is a transition year in which students are adjusting to a new school level and course load, so we don't want to push them too hard with too many advanced classes without giving them the time to transition to high school. Additionally, they wouldn't have the content knowledge to take advanced core classes right away. This is why we suggest no more than 1 to 2 AICE level classes for your freshman year. Note that this pathway highlights multiple options and that there are more than the 7-class minimum listed here. The route that students take to fulfill their AICE requirements can be individually tailored to meet each student's personal academic goals. Please speak with your counselor if you have any questions or need more information. Let's take a look at this chart summarizing a few of our course requests for the 21-22 school year. This is real data based on the number of students who have requested each course as their primary elective, meaning as a first, second, or third choice, or their core class. Keep in mind that we will have approximately 400 to 500 students per grade level. Some courses, such as AP Statistics, have as few as 16 requests for them, while others, such as Ceramics, have as many as 147. Now, what does this mean for scheduling purposes? And some of this you might be wondering why I'm explaining to you, and once we get through, I think it will make sense. When I'm building a schedule for our school, the first thing that I'll do is look at the numbers of course requests for each course. That means exactly what we looked at on the previous slide. This tells me how many individual classes or sections I need. Since I have 16 requests for AP Statistics, I will only need 1 class or section for AP Statistics. For Calc AB, I had 45 requests. Therefore, I will need 2 sections. The next thing I look at are the courses students are requesting to take together. For example, it is common that students who take Calc AB also take AP Physics 1. This would mean that if I schedule AP Physics 1 during 4th period, I would not want to schedule Calc AB during the same time if I am going to have a limited number of Calc AB classes. It would be uncommon for a student taking Calc AB to also take AP Statistics. So these are courses which I can overlap in the schedule. Note that for this example, that I have scheduled Calc AB and AP Statistics both during 2nd period. Consider a student with the following 7 course requests shown here. When scheduling the student, I would start with the most limited classes they are requesting first. In this case, Calculus AB, Physics, Keyboarding 2, and Digital Design 3. I would try to schedule these first because they are each only offered 1 or 2 periods, and then I would look at the remaining classes after scheduling those that are most limited. In this example, I can see that AP Physics 1 and Digital Design 3 are both only offered during 4th period. This student would then have to make a decision about which of these classes they would want to take next year. In this scenario, the counselor would contact the student to determine which course to choose and to select another option. Keep in mind that this is only a made-up layout of our classes and in no way represents the periods these courses will actually be offered next year. The numbers of course requests are actually based on our real numbers. However, the layout of the courses has not been determined at this time. The point that I'm trying to highlight is that even with the most considerate and careful placement of classes, There will inevitably be an overlap of courses offered at only 1 or 2 periods of the day because we have so many courses offered through limited section numbers. Please note that this scenario of singly offered courses or courses that are only offered in 2 periods is not limited to Horizon High School and is not, in fact, even the largest high schools deal with these types of scheduling restrictions. You may be wondering why I am explaining the intricacies of scheduling. And it's because we have had a few students and parents ask about AP options in our scheduling model. So consider the example we just discussed. Now let's suppose that we were to offer AP US History. You'll notice here that I changed 2 of our AICE US Histories. On the previous example, we had 4 AICE US Histories scheduled. Now I'm changing 2 of those to AP US History. Let's suppose that half of our students change their request from US History to AP US History. This would reduce the periods available for AICE US History to 2, and it would add the periods of AP US History to 2. This would further complicate the intricate web of classes being weaved to accommodate the most students with their requested schedules. This understanding of the scheduling process was a big part of the decision to only offer AICE US History and AICE English Language. In this example, adding AP US History would result in potentially less options for classes for both AICE US History and AP US History students, because rather than the 4 classes of availability for AICE US History, we would only have 2 for AICE US History and 2 for AP US History. With that said, as I said before, we have had a large amount of requests for these 2 specific AP courses that we are considering adding them to our course offerings for next year. If requests demand it, we will add AP US History and AP English Language courses to our schedule in the upcoming school year. Keep in mind that adding these courses does not mean that it will necessarily fit in the schedule for all students who request this course. This is because we will have a very limited number of sections, and because if a student has other classes that are only offered at the same time as the AICE or the AP US History, there may be a scheduling conflict which simply couldn't resolve, meaning that the student may have to choose between those options. By only offering the AICE US History, we would allow less scheduling conflicts to take place, and our students would be able to take more of the classes that they wanted. With all of this information in mind, we do want to be responsive to your input. We have heard the request for AP US History and AP Lang and would like to gather a little bit more information from our students about their desire to take these courses. At this time, these are the only 2 AP classes that we are looking to add. Please note that as our school grows in size, we do intend to continue to open up our course offerings in all areas based on student interest. We will be sharing a survey link to all juniors, rising juniors, to determine who may be interested in taking these 2 classes. As we have reviewed diploma requirements and student course requests for next year, and after speaking with current AICE students coming to us already in the program, we feel that it would be best for students in their first year seeking the diploma, again, this is usually the freshman year, but may also be sophomore year, to take 2 AICE courses in their freshman year. I've already discussed this a little bit. As it stands, most freshmen are signed up for AICE General Paper. As we stated in our registration presentations and parent nights, taking AICE General Paper does not mean that you are automatically or necessarily seeking the AICE Cambridge Diploma. However, if you are seeking the AICE Diploma, we would like to present you with the option of taking Thinking Skills. If you choose to take Thinking Skills, you will have the option of dropping your pre-AICE English 1 course. This will allow you to take 2 out of the 7 required AICE courses during your first year, rather than 1 as previously scheduled. while also not missing out on any elective choices. Keep in mind that AICE General Paper will fulfill your 9th grade English requirement. This will also distribute your AICE course load to lighten the burden of advanced courses in your sophomore and junior years when the content can become more challenging, and will also open up additional opportunities for other advanced coursework such as AICE, AP, and dual enrollment courses in your junior and senior year. This option of adding thinking skills into the freshman year is something that some of the other OCPS schools are also considering doing next year, but that hasn't traditionally been done. All freshmen interested in this opportunity, all rising freshmen interested in this opportunity, may inform us of their choice by accessing the link posted here, which is tinyurl.com/HHS 9th Advanced. Please note that students who are not pursuing the Cambridge Diploma may not elect not to take pre-AICE English during their freshman year. This option to eliminate pre-AICE English is strictly for students seeking the Cambridge Diploma who will concurrently be enrolled in AICE Thinking Skills and AICE General Paper. After speaking with freshmen who are currently taking AICE General Paper, we felt that there is a need to allow rising sophomores the opportunity to continue directly into an AICE level English class in their sophomore year. So rising sophomores, you will be given the option of taking AICE English language in your 10th grade year. If you are a current 9th grader who is interested in taking AICE English language and you have taken AICE General Paper, please complete the form at the link tinyurl.com/HHS 9th Advanced. Note that this is not a requirement to earn the AICE Diploma. You do not have to choose this option. It's simply another option to fulfill another AICE requirement and to continue with a higher advanced level English. We'll discuss AP Capstone in a moment, so we're going to come back to that for 10th graders. Rising juniors, we have heard you loud and clear. You have shared with us that you would like AP English Language and AP US History as course options. As I said, we are strongly considering adding these to our course selection, but before a final decision is made, we need your input on whether you would want the course. Considering everything that we've shared this evening in our presentation, please think about whether either of or both of these courses are courses that you would like to take, and if so, please submit your interest by submitting the form at tinyurl.com/HHS 11th Advanced. Rising sophomores and juniors, AP Capstone Seminar and Research are not new courses that we're adding in. They were previously listed on your course request form. However, being that Ms. Williams shared additional information about those programs this evening, if after hearing that information you would like to add them to your course request for next year, you can also complete the form for your grade level to submit that request. If you are a rising freshman, sophomore, or junior and feel that after tonight's presentation you have additional questions or would like to revisit any of your course selections which we have already determined, please feel free to reach out to myself, Ms. Zoller, or Ms. McGregor before March 11th, and we will be happy to have a conversation about your concerns or requests, as well as to make any necessary revisions. Please know that Ms. Zoller and I are continuing to hold registration meetings with our incoming students. We have gotten through meeting with the majority of students and will spend the next few weeks meeting with students who are absent or otherwise miss their regularly scheduled meeting. After this process is complete, we will begin going through students' requests one by one. During this time, we will individually review each student's course history to ensure that they have requested courses that are aligned with their individual progression and needs. Once we have gone through requests one more time, we will send a follow-up email, likely in late April, reconfirming the courses you have chosen. If you find any issues in your selection as we're going through them, we will contact you individually through your OCPS email. And again, why it's critical that you clean up that inbox if you're not regularly checking your email and accessing it. As we have stated in previous conversations and events, growth is a key word for Horizon High School over the next few years. With our increasing student population will come increased staffing, opportunities for diversity in programs and course offerings, and much more. In light of the growth and continual changes we will experience, we want to reiterate our sincere desire and efforts to remain transparent and to seek input, feedback, and support from our parents, students, and community. We encourage you to continue to communicate with us, and we welcome dialogue at all levels. Thank you again for being present with us this evening. We will return to the Q&A and answer some of those unanswered questions. And if you have any more questions, please feel free to send them through or to email myself or Ms. Zoller. We will respond within the next few days. Thank you once again for being here this evening and for spending the last hour and a half with us.
Ms. Canale, I have a question. Why is AICE being given priority rather than AP? Or wouldn't it be better to eliminate AICE as an option? And that is from a parent or a student.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Zoller. So I think that is a great question for us to discuss. I think we've discussed it throughout the night, but we can also explicitly elaborate on that. So there are, I think that question's coming from a point of view of seeing AP or dual enrollment as better than AICE, and I don't think that that's an accurate perception or view. I cannot reiterate enough that there is not a better choice. They are all rigorous learning opportunities that are available for our students, and it is really up to the student to choose. And so you can take all AP classes if that's what you would like to take, or you can take all AICE or all dual enrollment or a variety. And I personally think that the third choice is the best option. And I genuinely mean that. If I were advising my own child or myself, if I were back in high school, then I would want to experience the variety of the courses. And I say that with all sincerity. Additionally, the advantage that AICE does provide our students is the opportunity for the Bright Futures Scholarship. And to elaborate on what that is, once again, if you complete 7 AICE courses and pass those exams, you do not need qualifying test scores in order to earn 100% Bright Futures. And so you also do not need qualifying GPA, although for most students, GPA is not a eliminating factor for the Bright Futures. Most students who are seeking it are able to qualify with GPA. It really becomes the SAT or the ACT scores that stop students from earning the 100% Bright Future Scholarship. And so by completing 7 courses, then you eliminate that barrier. You do not need to earn a specific score in order to qualify for that Bright Future Scholarship. And that is a huge advantage.
Thank you, Ms. Canale. Also have another great question. Does an inconsistency of electives that do not relate to one another affect chances of admission at top schools?
That is a great question. Thank you. I've never been asked that question before, but it is a good one. What I will tell you is that there's, again, not an exact yes or no to this. I will say that colleges are looking for advanced foreign languages or world languages. That would include ASL or American Sign Language. They don't necessarily have a preference for any language over another, but the higher you go, the better. Again, if I were advising myself or my child, I would be really encouraging them to take 4 years of a foreign language. If I were advising a personal friend or relative, that would be my advice. And I know that a lot of students, that foreign language isn't their jam, and that's okay. You can stop at 2. That will qualify you for Bright Futures. That's the minimum that colleges are really looking at. But if you want to set yourself apart and you are able to be successful in a world language, that's one area that I recommend you stick to. There is an advantage, and when colleges are looking at applications, again, they are looking at the holistic student. So they're not looking at one specific thing. They're not just looking at your advanced classes. They are also in your application considering leadership roles that you've taken in the clubs that you've been a part of, and what are the community service activities that you're doing. How are they impacting you? What you're doing, is it having meaning in your life, and how are you impacting your community? So it is, again, a well-rounded person or student that they're looking for. So if you are taking a progressive sequence, that is an advantage, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to take a progressive sequence. So again, going back to what we were saying earlier, there's not an exact right or wrong, but I do think that sticking to one track for an elective is an advantage for your application. That's a great question. Thank you for whoever asked that.
Another question, Ms. Canale. If I were planning on taking AICE English 3, would that meet the language requirement for the AICE Diploma? Also, if it does count towards the language requirement, does that mean it couldn't cross over to count towards the humanities requirement?
Yes, so by AICE English 3, I think you're referring to the AICE language that most students take in their junior year. I think that's what you mean by 3. And once you use it in one category, it cannot be used in another category. And so you want to really be strategic about which classes you take and which groups you use them in, because you do have to have a class from every group. So the example I gave earlier was with AICE Psychology. If you use AICE Psychology in science, you cannot use it in group 3. So that is something that you want to pay particular attention to. That's another great question. Thank you. And also we had a question asked about, would dual enrollment classes take the spots for electives? Dual enrollment classes can be taken for either electives or core classes. And so again, once you start to get into the realm of dual enrollment, your schedule really does become individually tailored, because you are then entitled to a period or more off campus in order to accommodate your dual enrollment class. And that may be an elective, or it may be a core, or it may be both. And once again, you can take one dual enrollment class. If you're not exactly sure if you want to do dual enrollment, you can apply if you qualify and you're accepted, and just take one class. And you could take your full 7 courses with Horizon in one dual enrollment class, or you could take 6 classes with Horizon in one dual enrollment class. Again, it really depends on what your goal is in your individual situation, but those are all possibilities. So again, please don't think that it's all or none with any of these programs. I think that the best answer is to think about and consider all of the options. Ms. Zoller, do we have any more questions? We had a question of, why not let 11th graders take AP classes virtually from Windermere rather than forcing them to switch to AICE classes? That won't really benefit them. I think we've discussed some of the benefits of AICE classes, so I won't say that the AICE classes won't benefit them. I don't agree with that statement. However, as far as students wanting to take AP classes virtually, they cannot take them with Windermere. However, our Horizon High School students will be able to take an AP class virtually if it's a class that we don't offer. For example, if you want to take AP biology and we are not offering that next year, and you want to take it online, that is something that we will honor and allow to be done. And we did have a question about what do I gain by doing 4 years of the Project Lead the Way Biomed? I think we discussed that a little bit as far as the progression of electives and how that would look on your college application. Most of the students that go into the Project Lead the Way Biomed program do have an interest in either a medical or forensic or some type of STEM career that they are interested in going into. And just to elaborate on that elective question that I got earlier and to go a little bit further here, when you are applying for a specific program, then schools will look at the nature of the elective courses that you're taking. So if you're applying to a biology program or a biomedical program, this type of coursework and successful completion of this coursework, that means getting A's and B's, will prove to be an advantage in the application process because they're seeing that you're serious about your commitment to the content, to the curriculum, or to the subject, and that you're doing well in it. So again, going back to the electives question, the more academic electives that you can take, the better your application is going to look. There really is not a need, and I'm not discouraging anyone from taking, any type of course, such as, let's say, a PE course. That's a great course for many students, and many students need that physical break in their day. So I don't want to discount that in any way, except for when it comes to the application process. There is not a need for those courses on your to be on your record. They won't prove to have any benefit for you, even really for athletes, because they're not looking to see that you've taken PE courses. They're going to offer athletic scholarships based on your academic performance, believe it or not, and your ability to perform on the field or in your events. We did have a question asked about HOPE. If we don't take HOPE online, would it be one of our classes? And the answer is yes. And so if you do not take HOPE online before having at least segment 1 done before August, then you will be scheduled into HOPE on our campus, unless you are applying for a HOPE waiver, which can be fulfilled by 2 years of NDCC, which is the National Defense Cadet Corps, also called ROTC. Or you can also fulfill that by 2 years of a varsity sport. And so if you're going to fulfill HOPE in another way, you can let us know. And then that, as long as we see that you are on track to fulfill that, then you will not have to take it as one of your electives. Otherwise, you will be scheduled into it in August. And that is a great question as well. We're getting good questions tonight. If a student takes an AP course online, the course doesn't have a fee. The question is who pays for it. As far as the test is concerned, that would be Orange County paying for that test. I had a question asked, can we cross to UCF dual enrollment from Valencia? Those are separate applications, and you will need to apply for those programs separately. They do have different qualifications. Does UF dual enrollment impact financial aid in the future? Meaning, does it start the clock on federal financial aid? That's a very thoughtful question, Catherine. It does not. And that's really one of the main advantages of dual enrollment, is that you are banking, you're getting your classes for free, including your books. And that does not, let's say, start your Bright Futures or other financial aid. It's not impacted by taking dual enrollment courses. Does dual enrollment at UCF give students a higher chance to have those credits transferred to an out-of-state school? You, again, will need to check with your specific school regarding how they accept credits. Some schools are very open to receiving credits from other institutions and some are not. So I couldn't say that there's a higher chance if you're comparing to Valencia versus UCF. I don't know that I can answer that question. All right, I'm just scrolling through looking for some other questions. How do I sign up for HOPE online? Gloria, we did send out, for all of our students except for those we met with this week, yesterday or today, we sent out an email that lists their courses that they've signed up for after our discussion. It finalizes their request for them. And within that email, if you ask your student, or if you are the student, Gloria, check yourself, your OCPS email. In that email, I included the link for how to sign up for Hope Online. And so you'll find the directions in there. If you don't find that email, then just send me one and I'll send you back the directions for how to sign up. Is it possible to do dual enrollment classes with UCF and UF, but at different times of the year? You can, Tyler. You can do UCF as well as UF, not only at different times of the year, you can do them concurrently. They don't allow more than two courses at their own institution, but you could potentially do 2 UF and 2 UCF courses at the same time. Someone has asked, my daughter registered for Hope over 3 weeks ago and hasn't been able to start the course yet and hasn't heard anything back. What should we do from this point? The first thing that you should do is to reach out to your counselor, whether you're at Bridgewater or Windermere. Reach out to your current counselor, because the issue would be one of two things. Either the counselor at their school didn't approve the course, which is what is required before they can move into the next stage, is that their school counselor has to go into FLVS and basically acknowledge that they're accepting or allowing the student to take the course. That's step one. And then step two is that OCVS would need to assign your child to the actual course with the teacher. So either one of those things could be the issue. And so the first step would be to email to your counselor and they will be able to help determine what the issue is. And yes, Matthew, this entire presentation will be available on our YouTube channel tomorrow. We will send out the link via email. Also, we will be posting the Q&A along with that, the actual the written responses of the questions that are being answered in written form. We are not verbalizing all of the questions that we're receiving this evening. Some of them are being responded to in a written format, and we will post those as well. I think that we've pretty much responded to everything that's come in thus far this evening. If there's a question that we haven't answered, please feel free to resubmit it, because we may have missed it. After going to flvs.net and hitting enroll, do you pick FLVS Flex full-time or FLVS Global School? You should choose OCVS. That should be an option for you. And so you're going to want to look for that. Again, in the directions that we send, it does specifically step-by-step explain how to sign up for the courses through OCVS. We had a question asked about which opportunities for leadership are available in school besides clubs. Leadership really is such a broad category of a question. And it's really up to the initiative of the individual student, which is really what leadership is about. And so in terms of how they get involved, that's up to what their desire and what their effort is. We do have a leadership class, which is called Student Government, or SGA. And so that's an opportunity that a student can get involved with. If it's not a class that they selected on their form, they can feel free to let us know if they're interested in joining that. But again, it just goes back to their own initiative and how much involvement they want to have. If a student takes AP research in their senior year, how will they receive their capstone diploma? Those actually are not physically awarded necessarily at the graduation ceremony, and so they would be made available to them once the scores are received. We will have an NDCC program, which is the same program that Windermere is offering. So we have a question about that. If there's been any discussion about an ROTC being brought into Horizon, we will have an NDCC program right out of the gate initially in our first year. And NDCC ultimately will segue and lead into ROTC, or at least that's the hope. It's a stepping stone to get to ROTC. American Sign Language does count as a world language, yes. And that was a great question, Tyra. There's a specific order to take AICE Spanish language and AICE Spanish literature. AICE Spanish language would come first and literature would follow. All right, we're going to go ahead and give us 1 more minute for any remaining or outstanding questions. Again, if you have specific individual questions, please feel free to email Ms. Zoller or myself, and we are responsive. We will get back to you either by phone or email within a couple of days. You asked, John, about pre-AICE qualifying as honors. Pre-AICE is the same level as honors. They are both weighted on a 5-point scale, and the content is very similar. As far as AP World, we will not offer AP World History next year. We will offer AICE European. All right, so we are going to wrap it up this evening, and thank you all again for being here this evening. It was a pleasure speaking with you, and we hope to continue to have dialogue and events like this in the future. Thank you.